Good afternoon, everyone. It's Ruby1. I've returned. I'm out here in West Sutton Cemetery, Sutton, Massachusetts, in a little graveyard I've always wanted to take a gander at. Get familiar with the early settlers of Sutton. Here's a Civil War cannon made out of cast iron. Solid as ever. Starting to rust up. It's good. The insignia. It says 1862. Robert E. Morey Square. The right side's all the newer side. And I've seen some early 1900s, late 1800s over here, but this is the side I really want to look at because it has all the obelisks, and that's west right there. And the cemetery actually faces east, so the sun comes up this way, comes up and over, and goes down over there, and there's that one last oblique up there. And the whole idea of the sun god is so the sun hits these obelisks at the bottom in the morning and all the way up and around, and at the bottom when the sun goes down, so the sun touches it as much as it can. And I was looking at this Isaiah Sherman died at 25. Joseph Sherman died at 68. We're talking about the early 1800s here. Asenath died 57, all AE before the others. We got a urn here. This is in excellent shape. The stone at the bottom kind of has some nice colors in the white. It's hard to see. Newell Sherman died July 27, 1889. 71. Elmira died 89. They got the AEs on this, and this heart's in. It's inevitable that we're going to keep seeing this, but look at this. He died at 2 years, 10 months, 1854, and that goes further into the speculation of child sacrifice over here. It seems like we're inevitably going to see that. Here's a brown. This one's really tough to see. Looks like 1818 and 1822. The one looks 9 years and 8 years, so here's two more children, right? That's 8 years and 9 years. More dead children. Ann Brown. It looks like it says Reverend. None of the two kids. Joseph Severi. Eunice. 80's one of the ages. The bottom's a little too tough to make up. Eunice. Have you seen that name? That's a rare pretty name, huh? 59. Lydia Lemon. Let's take a look over here. There. Tabitha Thayer, 1816. In 1806, Fisher. Them are commoners. That's why they have just a stone. The elitists had the obelisk and the urns. This is a nice one right here. You don't see too often. The Abigail. There's another Abigail. She lived a long life. Both of these people. Gibson, war veteran. Isaiah. There's the Harston. That's where the child is right there. Shine. Someone died at 27. Charlotte, 33. Wow, look at the numerology behind some of these. That's pretty. You don't see that too often. It'd be a nice one to come and bring a trace paper scratch. It looks like it might say 4 years. These are tough to see. They're actually in pretty good shape. Look at that one with the urn right there. Dodge, that's a name that's over there in Charlton. Dodge and Morse linked together. Morse is a huge mason's name. This is maybe an 8-footer. Different cuts on it right here. Almost has like a little roof halfway down. That person wasn't that old, 32 to 54. There she is right here, 21 years old. Julia Dodge, daughter of Leonard Morse. It looks like at one time there was probably a picture there. It's a little harder to see that. Just curious what's over here. Andrew Morse. 1828 to 1856, died in his 30s. Daniel Law, who's this? Mark L. Dorr, maybe? Lore, it's Orr. No, it's Dorr. 22, 57, some Bacons. That don't surprise me, that name. Look at this little one. It's got the children in there too. Bartholomew Putnam, 38, 43. Hannah Putnam, 15 years old. Wow. Zilpha, 2 years old. Children died young then. Wow. 12 too. That's crazy. The kids died at that young. Some busted ones. You always get those asshole graveyard tippers. That's crazy. That one's been fixed before already once too, and they broke it again. Person's like, curse. There's another one. At least they come and try to piece these back together. Abner Putnam. Old people who lived later in life, 84 right there. Work our way up. Jerish, 67. Pierce. What's the name on this? It's weird how one's facing that way. That's facing the west and this is facing the east. More Putnams. 27. Looking at 1813. A lot of people died young over here. What's going on in this town? 85. Well, looks like Putnam's a big name. Morse. Same as a lot of the other South County graves. Big names, just Morse. Another Abigail. And the Abigail theory, if anyone knows my theory on that, is I believe a lot of these elitists had witches in their family, and I believe Abigail was a proper name. So if anything ever nefarious happened, Abigail did it. And there's so many Abigails back then, it's silly. 49 and 57 years old. Another 2-year-old kid right there. 3 weeks. Wow. That's already like 4 or 5 dead children, maybe even more we've looked at. Marsh. It's a different kind of obelisk. Very weathered. It's got the rough cut, round style. These people live 62. Stephen Matthew Marsh. It's almost as if they wanted to put more on it and never did. Kenny and Nancy Carpenter at rest. That one's been refurbished, and see, there's one of those smooth ones that really gets mossed up quick. And now this one's way older. It does have some moss on it. I got into a debate with a guy who makes stones. He thinks the smooth ones last longer against the tattery, and I disagree. Tucker, that looks like it's missing an obelisk at the top. More Putnams, Reuben, Jerusha, Teresa, Cornelius, Davis. Look at that shield. That's almost like the one we seen in Connecticut at Nathaniel Lyon's grave, which will be back over that area in Eastford, Connecticut soon. There's a graveyard there I've never looked at. This one I've never been in either. Another Abigail. Davis we're looking at. And Putnams. There's more marshes. There's another one of those ones that possibly had a picture in it too, right there. The lighting's gorgeous here now. More Abigails. 6 years old down there. Edwin, their son. Look at that. There's a lot of dead children over here. It's a little chilly out here. Let's work my way up. I want to see who's way up at the top there. Ebenezer Robbins. This one's tall. Wow, it almost looks bent. It's got a little substance. They cemented it in there again. That's a Howard. In the Revolutionary War. Died at 71. Look at that, 3 years old daughter. 21. The other daughter. That's crazy. Imagine coming back from war and finding that out. Or was it intention? Maribah. Let's go over here. James Davis. Roxana. People who lived older. It's a little guy. That's the ones we looked at. What's that? Jacob. Badger. There's some souls. Damn, people died young back here, back then. It's another Tucker by itself, busted off. Almost impossible to read. Now look at this. You don't see this too often. Maybe that was up top on that before. My guess, right up there on this Tucker. Hester Sprague. Larned, that's the name of the road out there in Oxford. These people lived older. Someone who died at 14. Webster something. Look at that, 3 weeks old. That sounds like some kind of ailment, another 2-year-old. And I'm not sure if that was truly on there. Let me look up there.